I do not do this alone. It's because of you guys that we are here. Otherwise, I would be up here by myself. My wife would be peeking through that door saying, "You ready yet?" So, I love her to death, but she definitely will let me know if I'm off track. And that's what having a spouse is about. So, I just want to, before I get into my message, I want to say something. My mother, Catherine Crawford, who we lost in 2018, was really big on education. And everyone has their own route away from, I am born and raised in Baltimore and lived with a single mom, me and my brother, who whenever, you can't beat your kids now, but she was very liberal with her hands. So, but her thing was, she wanted us to have some tools to get out of the situation. And I think she used my uncles as examples of sometimes not to be, and people that we know in the family of how not to be. So that's why I didn't stop, because it's like, you know what, I don't like this, maybe I'll do something else. And that's because I was supposed to be a lawyer, and some kind of way I found myself into social work. So I have a story about a family member that we have. I don't know what's doing this. First, I want to tell you, Michael Beckwith talks about pain pushes until vision pulls. Now, this is a wonderful statement. He's talked about it on many occasions. I love Michael Beckwith. I know Issa, you're familiar with him. If you want to really hear some wonderful wisdom, just research him and pull him up, because he really does a great job of helping us to understand this philosophy, this theology that we are sitting with. But I want to talk first, before I get into that message, I want to use this person as an example. This is our beloved cat, Sheba. It's supposed to be my cat, however, my wife wanted a cat in some kind of way. She flipped it, and it was her cat. But she has a few. Yeah, she's a Korat, but I think yours is a chartreuse. I researched. Yeah, yours is a chartreuse. So cats are interesting animals. I had one before. She loved my plants, and so she had to go. But this one, we learned to move the plants. But I want to talk about her because she is an example of doing the same thing every day. She kind of patrols the house. She eats her food. She got to have her breakfast, her cereal, as Krista calls it, at 3 a.m. No matter what we're doing, and usually at 3 a.m. we sleep. I don't budge. I usually fake sleeping. Krista usually gets up because it's her baby. And then in the afternoon, about noon, 1, 2 o'clock, she's ready for her lunch, right? So the good thing is with our schedule, somebody's always in and out. So she'll give it that. Now, if Krista does not give it to her, she'll remind Krista, you need to go down there. She doesn't say it nicely, but she'll let Krista know, come feed me. I know Martha, you're a cat lover. Rain is a cat lover. There's a few cat lovers. James is a cat lover. These two characters are cat lovers. So, and I know you have a dog, or dogs, right?
Oh, so,
you have any dog? Oh, I'm sorry. Wow. I mean, we're animal lovers.
Yes.
Let me just say that. I love animals. Not just cats, not just dogs. So, Sheba's life is regulated by the things that she does. She paces the house. She takes her naps in various places that she has. That's how she is, right? So my reason for bringing her up is just an example of how some of us become comfortable with and complacent with life as it is. Now, she's a cat. So for her, she's not a street cat. She's not outside. She's not homeless. She has a warm house. It's cold outside, so she's warm. She's not in and out. She has a place that she is. But everybody doesn't have it like this. So I want you to start thinking about that story that I told you about Sheba. First, I want to start off with some scripture. So Romans 8:18 says, the pain that you have been feeling can't be compared to the joy that is coming. So I want to talk about that because that's important. The pain you have been feeling can't be compared to the joy that is coming. We sometimes get stuck in this place of victim consciousness of, this is happening to me. He, she, they did this to me. The truth is, things are happening. I'm not here to tell that story, but we all know that things that are happening sometimes are those very catalysts that pushes us in the place where we're supposed to be. The funny thing about hating a job and wanting to get another job is that no one's ever going to come to you and say, hey, Jamel, I hear you're looking for another job and you hate these people. Here's $1 million. He'll work 2 hours a week. That never happens. What's going to happen is you're either going to quit or they're going to get sick of you and they're going to fire you. And usually now, because of how things work with unemployment, they're going to sit down and have 2 letters. You pick one that you sign. You're going to sign this one or you're going to sign that one. One that you accept that you've been terminated and one that you resign. I don't know if you've ever seen that happen. Who's working in HR? That's how they do it? Yeah. There's 2 letters. Right? And so my reason for bringing this up is that we oftentimes will not understand when things are happening because we're looking at it from a human perspective. I'm here to remind you that you are all sacred beings. Now, in our humanness, things happen and don't feel good. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't feel, because I do. It hurt me when I lost my mother-in-law. It hurt me to watch my wife go through what she's going through. It hurt me to watch my nephew going through what he's going through. And those who knew Phyllis, I'm here to say that the human experience is very real. However, in your sacredness, know that something greater is coming. Doesn't mean that you're going to forget about those people. It doesn't mean that you won't feel bad. It's just who you are. That's how we're wired and how we're built. We are human beings. And actually, because of that, I don't know if you've ever paid attention to those iRobot, the AI movies. Robots don't feel, they just do. We don't want to live in a world like that. We want to live in a world where we can hug each other, love each other, recognize each other, and caress each other. What does Ernest Holmes says about, what does he say about this whole thing about suffering and pain? He said, where there is pain involved in our suffering, we have a term that works fine for me. He says, right where the pain is, God is. I think I shared a story last week or the week before about my fellow minister, the former Unity minister, Michael Orr. His wife passed. It was an interesting process when I reached out to him because I know that if I had lost my beloved, I would feel a certain way. But he was right here. He said, you know what? God is blessing me in this moment. My wife died, but God is loving me in this moment. He kept saying that. It was an interesting perspective because he had all these memories, and that's what he talked about. He didn't talk about, oh man, what am I going to do next? And my wife is gone and things are hard. He didn't talk about that. He talked about, and I can't remember the woman's name. If I did, I would share it. But he was, and I met her once, but he shared the love that God was blessing him with in that moment. And so Ernest Holmes further goes on to ask the question, what does this mean? It means that we cannot catch the notion of God being present. We can catch the notion of God being present right where the pain is, and we are opening ourselves up to wholeness. Now, to outside persons, they may say, you guys, what are you talking about? You're supposed to feel, you're supposed to. I'm not saying not to do that either. What I am saying is just know that there's something greater. You know, we talked about what Romans, the scripture shared. There's so much joy that comes with that. We understand that none of us are going to be here forever. None of us. We're going to make our transitions, and none of us really know the exact way that it's going to happen. But our presence will be remembered. Who we loved, who we gave to, and how we lived our lives. Those are the memories that live on forever. They don't die. In spiritual mind treatment, God only knows wholeness. God is perfect, therefore we are perfect. If we're saying that we are the sons and daughters of the Most High, if God is all there is and God is perfect, and we're connected to that, why can't we say we are all perfect? There's nothing blasphemous about that. That is, in my opinion, the highest level of communion with the Most High. By the way, the term God is a principle and a presence and not a person on a cloud. Not, I remember growing up and you see a white man, old, with a beard, and a white robe with a pipe, or it's like, God smokes, on a cloud looking down. It's like, wow, it's really interesting how man has created this image. But we know that God is love and law that is living through us. And that's the part that we want you to accept and understand. So pain pushing until vision pulls. Does this mean delayed gratitude? I know sometimes folks say, so I'm supposed to just be wrapped in this discomfort and not get to a place where I'm understanding where I'm supposed to be? No. It means that you should be able to understand that there's something greater that's coming. It means that you should be able to understand that greatness is happening right now. Even if you in your humanness cannot see it, even if in your humanness you cannot feel it, just know there's something greater. One of my close friends, he wouldn't mind me sharing this story. I remember he was having a hard time. He was just going through a lot with employment. He didn't have a job. The money thing was kind of rough. I don't know if you remember. And like things were just happening. I remember having a conversation. I was just kind of checking in with him, saying if he needed anything, just kind of saying, you know. And he said, you know what, man? There's nothing but greatness coming from this point, because there's no way I could be at this place and all the good and the love that I've put out there, and none of it is coming back. And the truth is, it comes back. I know we like to say, metaphysicians, we like to say, what you appreciate, appreciates. In the banking world, appreciate means it grows. So if you show appreciation, things just grow. So we're not talking about delayed gratitude, it's the knowingness that things are happening. So here's what I'm going to say. So we talk about pain pushes until vision pulls. So in my professions, I met with a lot of people in therapy. A lot of these people were, depressed, anxious. They were just struggling. They were having a hard time. Just dissatisfaction. I remember one lady who was just like, she was a nursing student at Coppin. I won't get into more, but she was, and for those who know nursing at Coppin, it's hard, right? It's difficult. It's not an easy, many people decide to change their majors as a result of being nursing students at Coppin. But she had a lot of dissatisfaction. She also was doing so she could make her money. But it was an opportunity for her to understand that there was so much more out there for her. And with this, I'm going to read this slide. It says, whether it's stemming from dissatisfaction in her career, financial struggles, longing for a meaningful relationship, feeling disconnected from her body, or grappling with uncertainty toward their path forward, she was able to see that it was an opportunity there for her. So she ended up completing the program last time I saw her, because I see people in the community who I worked with. She was happy that she went through that pain. So more applications. The purpose of pain is to push you to a greater, more expansive possibility for your life. Sometimes pain starts off as a small feeling of discontent. A person at their job for many years, sounds familiar, right? Seemingly coasting along, and one day something doesn't quite feel right. Nothing on the outside may be changed, but in the inside there's an inkling of a feeling for something more. I will share with you that I've made a decision, and I don't really know exactly the time, but my calling to be in ministry happened kind of slow. I'll go back and say I took an ASVAB back in 1989-90, and the recruiter said you qualify to be one thing or chaplain assistant. I took the other thing. So God knew then I was just a smart mouth 17-year-old who get a degree and didn't go with the flow. So going through times, I was working with people as a social worker, whether it was with domestic violence battlers, whether it was with juvenile offenders, is a variety of populations I worked with. What I realized is that I wasn't being fulfilled. I felt like I was helping people, but I was not being fulfilled. So I made a decision, and this was also simultaneously while I was also caring for my mom before she made her transition. I made a decision that I wanted to do something greater. And my wife probably, I don't know if she remembers this, I used to say to her, I'm not just put here to be somebody's husband or somebody's father. There's something greater for me. Remember that conversation? Not like I said yesterday. I've said that, right? And most folks will say, wow, like that's pretty harsh. And it's nothing to slight my children or my wife. It's that divine purpose that you feel like, wow, I'm supposed to be doing something greater. So then there's a point where you check in with your ego, like, is this just my ego just telling me? But it's clear that there was something else. And you find it out when you meet people that you don't know, strangers. They say things. It's not the people that know and love you, because they're going to tell you what you want to hear because they love you and they want you to feel good. This beautiful woman over here, she's smiling. She said, yeah, you're great. And tomorrow she'll give my feedback and I'll take it. Right? That's fine. But a stranger, these are the people who you should hold close to, because sometimes they see something in yourself. And I'll talk about that in some other monthly themes. They see things that we don't always see in ourselves. And that's important because there's something about us that we don't see. Everybody familiar with Johari's window? So there's what you know and what everybody knows. There's 4 parts. And I'll go into this another day. There's what you don't know, what you know, what everybody knows, what you don't know, what everybody knows. There's what you don't know. There's what you know, but nobody doesn't know. That's the secret self. And there's what you don't know and what nobody knows, right? So those 4 pieces are really our makeups. Because we all have secrets, that's fine. We have secrets. Some of us, Have secrets. That's fine. Nobody's challenging that. There's also things that we don't know about ourselves that others don't know, but God will use them as tools to remind us who we're supposed to be. And that's the part I'm talking about. Like I said, we'll go into that again. Either myself or Brother Issa will talk about that. The pain that signals that there is something within you that's wanting to express itself. There's a world of possibility that's inviting you to step out into it. The pain is leading you right into it. If anybody's ever talked to someone from the addiction communities, this is probably the best example I can give. Folks from the addiction rooms will tell you it's too hard to stop using. It's too hard to stop using. And sometimes it's too hard to stop using because there's a transition, whether it's withdrawal, whether it's changing behavior, whether it's changing habits, whether it's some work that they have to do personally. That's hard. That's uncomfortable. I will challenge anyone here, if there's something like, my wife knows that I love strawberry shortcake, right? It ain't always good to you though, right? But if I want to, get into my sexy 50 physique, I got to put down the fork and the spoon and really dig into what it takes. I got friends who they do high intensity workouts every week, and I'm like, dude, I'm too busy. He's like, no, you're not. You know you're not, right? But I make this up because we have to understand that there is a process, and you will feel discomfort when you're stepping away from something that is not serving you. So substance misuse is probably the best example that I use, because when you talk to some of these individuals, they'll share with you that it's too hard to stop using. And that's important to understand. And these are human beings. I don't take what they're going through lightly. The world of possibility is your vision. When you start to entertain a greater vision of your life, the pain starts to ease. That pain that had been pushing you all along begins to give away to the vision that is now pulling you. Going back to Michael Beckwith, pain pushes to vision pulls. So some of us, if you can really think about it in your mind, it is possible. Think about it. Somebody thought about having a cell phone. Somebody thought about having a computer. Someone thought about, what are some wonderful things we have now? An airplane. We fly. You can go from Baltimore to California in maybe 5-6 hours. Someone thought about boats, sailing on the water. All these thought it was someone's idea to make a change for the better, for something that they thought was possible. So the possibilities are endless. I'm never going to say to you, go back. Maybe that's not. And now let me say this. I'm not saying for you right now to say, you know what, Reverend Jamel said, just quit your job and just step out. It's quite possible that could work for you. But don't be irresponsible. If you have families, if you have mortgages, rent, bills, don't be irresponsible. Sometimes it's best to start to a place that's comfortable where you don't lose the trust of those who are counting on you. That's probably the best way. All right? So because this is Black History Month, I want to share something. We know this is Harriet Tubman. She wrote a piece called Dream and Dreamer. Every great dream begins with the dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. That was beautiful. And we know some of the things that she's done. She made a decision. She was like, this is not right. Folks were enslaved and being held, and she made a decision to make a change. And so she rescued, and I don't know the exact number, but she rescued so many people and changed her life as a result of it. Martin Luther King, he said, use me, God. Show me how to take who I am, who I want to be, what I can do, and use it for a purpose greater than myself. That's beautiful. Marianne Williamson, I'm going to share another piece by her. She says, have me go where you would have me go. Have me do what you would have me do. Have me say what you would have me say, and to whom. So she's saying, allow me to be used. And this is another one of her poems that you guys are familiar with. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are more powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who are we to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. We're born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And that's from her book, Return to Love. Yeah, I don't know how many times I bought that book, gave it away. She tells a wonderful story about her own inner transformation. And finally, Henry David Thoreau says, go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined. So where do you sense discontent or pain in your life? I want to encourage everyone here to begin to really think about that. Because if we really understand what is happening to us, we know that it's not something that's going to be with us forever. The pain or the discomfort or the suffering, these are only a figment of our imagination at that time. Oftentimes when you look back, and I'm sure we all have stories about, that was a time when I was upset about, or I was feeling this, and then today I haven't even thought about it. That happens quite frequently. Acknowledge it without judgment and understand that it's conveying a message. Consider what greater possibilities may arise from this discontent. What is the pain urging you to recognize? What is the pain urging you to recognize as a potential for growth? As you glimpse the emerging vision, take one step to explore how it can manifest in your life. So, this goes back to everything I've been saying. Oftentimes, our pain or our suffering or our thoughts, where we're not exactly happy with what's happening, will really push us to a place where we're supposed to be. So this is my call. Now is your time to start a business, to start a new career, to start a new hobby, relationship, travel, buy a home. And this is just what I put up there. Some of you have things like, I want to get a new wardrobe. I want to be married. I want to date. You guys join me. What else? What are some things we want to do? Throw it out there. Finish a book. Paint. Screenplay. Draw. Learn how to speak Spanish.
Play a new instrument.
Eat more healthy.
Work out.
Play a new instrument.
Play an instrument. Right? Meditation. These are wonderful things. And these are spiritual practices. These are practices that lead us to the place where we're supposed to be. It's important that we begin to think like that. Because when we can do that, we'll be surprised. Just one step. Just one step. Eat healthy. You know what? No meat Mondays. Right? Meatless Mondays. I had a friend that had meatless Mondays. Someone said something about painting. You know what? I don't know if you're talking about the house or just art. Oh. We could do a cheese and wine and cheese painting class here. I don't know if that's something to think about, right? Sip and paint. Yeah, those are great. I went to one. I went to two.
I'm going to one Saturday.
Oh, it's all right. Yeah, I think I drank more wine than I actually painted. Because I think he ended up finishing my piece.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are things that are possible. So in conclusion, right? Don't stay stuck in the same daily routine, just like Sheba. Right?
I don't know, she looked like she got a pretty good life.
She eat good food. They say cats don't have masters, only dogs do. She Queen Sheba. But I say this because as in our humanness, we understand that there's so many great things. I don't know what she's thinking. The only person she really talks to is Nolan. But what I am saying is that there's something she does. She talks to him. What I'm saying is that there's an opportunity there for you to step out of your daily routine. Some of us are bored with life. How do you step beyond the boredom or the daily regimental routine that you have? Like, you know what? All I do is pay bills, go to bed, I eat meals in between, and I get up and go start all over again. Guess what? Live life. I'm not saying be responsible. Maybe you can take a destination where like Groupon has a drive away, like 2-3 hour drive vacation. Start with that. See if you like spend the weekend, get a day off. I don't know. But But those are important things so that you can step out of your comfort level in your daily routine, so you can live your best life and be who God intended you to be. Again, shine your light, more center for love. We hope to see you again. Thank you.